Right, this is the preview for Manchester United against Leeds. I'm joined by Adam Mckola. Let's get into it. Welcome to Stretford, Paddock. This is the preview. Adam, how you doing, mate? Man United versus Leeds this weekend. Is this still a big fixture in your eyes? Are you looking forward to this?
Yeah, it's a big game, isn't it? Especially, it's the first one with fans back, isn't it? At Ellen Road.
Yeah.
So it'd be a big game for that reason. Obviously, playing there last time, it was a bit weird with no fans. So yeah, it's going to be a different fixture, and Leeds is always a fixture that you want to win. Growing up, I've always wanted to beat them. I remember going there and David Beckham being left out and Andy Cole scoring in a 1-0 win. That one seems to stick in my mind a little bit. But I know we've had a few good victories there. We've had a few difficult games there over the years as well. So it's going to be an intriguing one. But Leeds are a team that let us play, so could be an open one too.
That one last season, though, was one of the worst games I've ever seen, that draw.
It's 0-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just no chances were made the whole game. It was awful. After the like ridiculous game we saw at Old Trafford, we've seen a similar kind of game at Old Trafford this season as well. Let's get into the big talking point here. And me and you haven't really spoken about this yet since this whole sort of Maguire stuff kind of broke over the last couple of days. So let's just go back a little bit and give a little bit of a history of this. So first of all, the news came out, I think it was in the Mirror last night, that supposedly there's been talks between Ronaldo and Maguire and Rangnick about whether he should be captain. Also that the rest of the squad kind of think it's only a matter of time until Ronaldo's captain. Maguire's worried that, the rest of the squad don't respect him as captain. All these sorts of things came out last night. And then Maguire this morning has basically said, this isn't true. It's a load of lies. We've seen Rangnick in his press conference today saying Maguire is the captain. He will continue to be the captain. Just give me your thoughts. And I kind of know your thoughts on Maguire, but on this sort of debacle of it and whether you think Maguire should keep that armband, because we've seen Rashford in the last couple of days coming out and having a go at Christian Falk. We've seen Maguire coming out. It's like United are having to put out a lot of fires at the minute. It's not happy, is it, at the minute in United camp, one way or another?
In relation to the stories about it and the story about Ronaldo and Maguire, the problem is at the moment, 90% of these stories are bullshit. But because United are in such a position, we tend to believe everything. It's like when everything's going right, like everything's happy out there, everything's positive out there. And I feel like this is the case. It's easy for people to say these things and us to believe they are true because everything that we're seeing on the pitch kind of indicates that something's wrong. I tend not to believe the Mirror. So I tend not to believe this story in particular. But I do believe there's an issue with Manchester United's captain and who holds the armband. Look, I think Harry Maguire's performances would probably be helped by it because I think he's a better defender than what we're seeing. But I think he needs to be held accountable for his performances, one, and then as a captain, two. Now, do I believe those stories are true in terms of this big meeting and all those kind of things? Probably not. But do I believe that players don't respect him as captain or don't really hold him in high regard? I kind of feel like that could be the case. I feel like we've seen a player who mentally hasn't been up to the challenges this season. And I don't think he leads this team at all. He's not the only problem at Manchester United, and it's unfair to scapegoat just him. I think there's a lot of issues, but I think that's one of them. You need a leader out there, and I don't look at him as a Manchester United leader. Now, we've been spoiled over the years, but we have to go by what we've seen before. And is he playing well enough, or does he carry himself well enough to lace the boots of forget Gary Neville and Roy Keane and all Brian Rock, even Antonio Valencia, do you know what I mean? And it's like, for me, he doesn't also take enough accountability off the pitch. And I think that's a problem as well. We'll see him make a mistake, come out and say, oh, we could have done this and we could have done that. And it's like, he just doesn't seem to be up to the challenge for me of being Man United captain. And I think it was probably unfair to give it to him. And I think it's affecting his play. But I also think, his performances, if you take it away from the captaincy, whether they're linked or not, just haven't been good enough. And if, again, he's not the only one, but he needs to be held accountable for that. Whenever I've seen Lindelof play, again, he makes his mistakes at times, but he's been, for me, better than Maguire this season. Varane, has been better than Maguire this season. they should be starting. So when they're fit, and look, if he's only starting because he's got the armband at times, then that causes a problem because you're playing one of your weaker defenders. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but would I make Ronaldo captain? I don't know either.
Yeah, that's my question, because like that was the thing yesterday. It's him or Ronaldo. When, you know, a lot of people think if we don't get top 4 this season, Ronaldo might leave. So you've got a situation there where you might have a guy who's 37 being captain for 3 months.
There's a thing with Ronnie though, yeah, where people seem to be going, he's an issue. I don't think I don't think he should start every game. But I don't think he's an issue. I think he, like I've said it before, I think he magnifies the issues that are there already.
That's a good point.
Like, because he comes here expecting, I expect my teammates to be looking to play at a level that, you know, I'm not talking just about Maguire here. I expect my teammates to be up to a certain standard in training and on the pitch. You know, I expect my club to be running a certain way. And he's probably coming to United thinking, what the hell is this club? Do you know what I mean? So I can see it from both perspectives. But I don't think Ronaldo should necessarily be captain. But I do think he is making the issues stand out more because he has such high standards. And we shouldn't criticize him for that either. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he knows what is needed to be won at Manchester United. And that might be the best thing that he does being here, in that he makes people go, whoa, he's right, you know. But again, have we got the people in place to listen? I'm not sure either.
And also the thing with
it's a mess at United.
The thing with Ronaldo as well is on the pitch, or well, on and off the pitch, but on the footballing side of things rather than the political side. Obviously, in his career, he was at Man United, the best team in England. Real Madrid, you know, fighting as one of the best teams in Spain with Barcelona. Juve, the best team in Italy. But throughout his whole career, at Portugal, at international level, they have been an underdog team. So it's not like he can only play in the best teams. He knows what it's like to have a team that isn't favoured, isn't fancied, and still drag them to trophies. So it's not like he's come to United and he's never seen this before. You kind of have to trust him on that stuff because he's been doing that with Portugal for, 120 goals now. He knows what it's like to be not the best team, but still succeed.
And I do see how that could have a negative impact on the dressing room.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a player that isn't up to the standard, it's easy then to lose, like be upset or be down or be whatever. And that will be a direct result of Ronaldo being there. But that's not Ronaldo's fault or problem that people are up to the standard. Do you kind of get what I mean? Like him being there is making if him being there and his standards is making the dressing room sad because they're not up to them standards, then that's the issue, not him being up to the standards. It's like,
he is a symptom. He isn't the cause. He brings out those things rather than actually starting them himself. I agree. Yes or no? Should Maguire be stripped to the captaincy? One word answer.
He shouldn't be captain. Stripped sounds mad.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be captain.
And who would you give it to if it wasn't Ronaldo? If it wasn't Maguire?
I would like to say Varane. De Gea, maybe.
Bruno?
No,
not
Bruno. You know, at one point I would have said Marcus Rashford, but no.
Yeah.
Maybe in a few years, but yeah. You know what the thing is? To do something mad and give it to McTominay and then we're stuck with him in midfield.
Yeah, and I can't even consider that right now. Let's move on. You mentioned Rashford before. Not at the point at the minute. Like you said, maybe 18 months ago, you'd have said next Manchester United captain, Marcus Rashford. Now, he's struggling to get a place in the starting 11. Let's try and be, not all negative here. Anthony Elanga's come in and has been kind of a breath of fresh air on that side. He's almost like the opposite of Rashford at the moment. And obviously Rashford at his best can do, a lot of stuff. But at the moment, he doesn't seem to have the work rate. He doesn't seem to have that kind of composure, those little passes, those little touches. He's getting the ball taken off him a lot. He's losing possession a lot. And Anthony Elanga is tracking back, putting the work rate in, getting in behind, trying time and time again. And I think it's really standing out at the minute, isn't it, Anthony Elanga? Have you been impressed by him, or do you think it's more a case of Rashford's so bad that anyone would look good there?
I've been impressed with Elanga, but I do think it's a little bit of that. Like any young player that you put into that position that works their socks off is going to stand out in this team because a lot of people aren't carrying their weight at times. Do you know what I mean? I think Daniel James will probably stand out for the same reason in this team. But I do think Elanga has a little bit of quality. He's had chances where you want him to do a little bit better with, but he's a young lad. Marcus Rashford, on the other hand, I don't know what's happened to him.
Yeah.
I was sat there thinking the other day. I'm sitting there thinking. I was sat there thinking the other day, like, what is it? What is wrong with him? Because he got on the ball, he wouldn't run at anybody. Like, he genuinely wouldn't try and commit somebody. And normally he's really. I've watched videos of good Rashford goals to try and remember what he looked like when he was good, and he's not scared of anybody. He'll take him to the byline. He'll try and skin him. He might not. His trick might not work, but he might get a little bit of luck that gets him through it. Like, he could create space. His passing was improving at one point. I remember he was playing those little outside of the boot passes, and he was cutting them in fine for like Martial and all those players that were running in those positions. And now I just look at him and he doesn't seem to want the ball. He doesn't seem to run into position. He doesn't seem to commit his fullback. He doesn't seem happy. And after the operation, we were expecting to see a Marcus Rashford that was free of that, that shoulder issue, was free of the back issues that he had. And we're not. And I said, look, he's a young player. He's pretty much been on an incline since he's been at United. Of course, he's going to have a dip, but you do hope it's not something permanent or something that we continue to see, because the talent that he's shown, the goals that he's scored, and we kind of looked at him and thought, that's our position locked down for a little bit there now. We don't need to worry about Marcus Rashford. And it's kind of not happening now. And you see Jadon Sancho was brought in to play on the right. I know he can play on the left. He's playing on the left because he's better from that position. He's better than Rashford in that position. And Rashford's having to come in on the right again. And you're thinking, do you remember the period where Martial was keeping Rashford out of the team and was playing on the left? And you're back in that position again where you're hoping to get into the team in a position that you wouldn't really call your own. So I don't know what's happened to him, man. But I hope he regains his form soon, gets a few. You know what the thing is for these players? There's some big games coming up, man.
March is ludicrous.
You get a goal in one of these games that wins us the game, and you feel different gravy about yourself. But you do worry. Like, I worry about Marcus Rashford because I love him. I think he's so important on and off the pitch. And I just hope he can continue his development.
Yeah. Right, a quick word from today's sponsor, Profit Accumulators. I know you're thinking, what is Profit Accumulators? Well, it's a website that uses something called matched betting to get you extra money time and time again.
Time and time again, because that's what you want. You know that the bookies now, they're getting fiercer, it's getting more competitive, which on the plus side means the offers that the bookies are giving to new customers or existing customers are getting crazier and crazier.
Too crazy.
Yeah, they are. They're just getting a little bit OTT. But Profit Accumulators looks at all these different offers and then looks at how they can use them against one another to make money for you, to make profit for you. In fact, you could say accumulate profit.
Exactly. Using them against each other to guarantee you profit. They've had over 150,000 customers today, so you're in safe hands, you know what I mean?
Do you know what I love as well?
What?
You can even do this without your card details.
Yeah, exactly. And get up to 45 quid using their 100% free trial. It's a no-brainer and definitely want to check out if you're looking to make that little bit extra. Check them out, link in the description. Yeah, me too. Yeah, like you said, these Atletico games, they've got Marcus Rashford written all over them, haven't they? Like those big European nights, we've seen it against PSG, 3 times he scored against them, those sort of big games, that could maybe be the catalyst, the start of a turnaround in his season. But just a couple of stats. I think Elanga is in the sort of 80th or above percentile on tackles, blocks and pressures this season, and Rashford is less than 50th in all 3. So
did you say percentile?
Adam, I've used the word percentile, mate, and I've used it to illustrate a point. Let's move on then, before I get rinsed too much for using the word percentile. Predicted 11s, right? Put your money where your mouth is. You're saying Rashford isn't having a good season. Let's see your lineup.
This is a predicted 11, not a preferred 11. My preferred 11 would be very different.
Okay.
As you can see, my heart is in the gutter at the moment with all this. Who did I send it to again? Cam.
Yeah, there you go.
Cam. The little Judas. Did he hear that? I hope he heard that.
He did, yeah.
The hair in goal. Delot, Lindelof, Varane, Shaw. That is hope.
Yeah. You think Maguire will start?
I think he will. I hope he doesn't.
Yeah.
The spine of Maguire and McTominay is, oh God, killing us, man. Then I think he's going to play McFred again. But really, Pogba should play. Sancho, Bruno, Elanga. You know what, actually? I'm not going to change it because there's probably a graphic or something made, but you can't be stupid enough to not to play Pogba in this game, right?
You would hope not. You would hope Pogba's going to play in the game. Interesting.
Pogba's so good, man. Pogba is so good, man. Sign up for Europe. Oh, why are you doing this to us?
This is what he does. He comes back and he reminds us why he's so good.
No, but you know what he did?
You
remember everyone saying that no one kicked he weren't in my team anyway. Like, the thing is, everyone, remember when there was a period of time that everyone goes, oh, we don't need Pogba, we got McTominay and Fred. Like, him being aware has shown everyone that you like one.
See, here's the thing. I didn't say we don't need Pogba. I said, I'm sick of poor Pogba. Therefore, let's try and work around him not being here next season. I know how good he is. I know that he's our most talented player.
I wasn't pointing that at you.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
I've seen people genuinely believe McTominay and or Fred were better than Pogba.
No, absolutely not. I think in terms of most talented players, obviously Ronaldo's top, but he's past his prime. I think Bruno and Pogba are our best players other than him. And you know,
I was glad Bruno got that goal the other day, man.
Yeah, me too. Because
he's been he stresses you out when he plays, and because he's like, you see the stress on his face.
He feels too much like someone you play football with in real life. Like, do you know, just someone who's just a knobhead who's just screaming at everyone all the time, but they're actually really good. He's just one of those lads, isn't he?
It's me at football.
It's Adam.
But like, also, it's like, you know, if a fire alarm goes off and you see him, you're shitting yourself, bro. Like, sometimes the person you look at can help calm the situation, innit? But Bruno just looks stressed. So maybe that's... People look at him and think, oh, shit, maybe the situation really is bad.
Yeah, if the fire alarm goes off in the canteen, Ronaldo goes, they're testing the alarm, and Bruno's grabbing his kids, grabbing his lunch, putting like all his clothes on, grabbing his suitcase, flying out, shirts flying out the back of the suitcase, and Ronaldo sat there like, it'll go off in a minute. Yeah, that's the difference, isn't it? Yeah, I like your team. Let's move on to my team then.
Did I finish the team?
Yeah, you went through it all pretty much. Here's mine. I've gone with De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Maguire. Again, it's a predicted 11. I think after this week, he's probably going to start.
Do you
Maguire.
think Telles or Shaw should start?
I think Telles should. I think Shaw hasn't improved at all this season. I think he's.
I don't either.
He's just lackluster.
But I don't think Telles has been great either.
No, I agree, but he gives you more energy. He tries harder. Luke Shaw looks like he's jogging half the time at the minute, and I know that's.
Then why? So is Wan-Bissaka dusted now?
It seems like it, doesn't it? It seems like that he just don't fancy.
But has Dalot been that good?
I think he.
I like Dalot, but has he been that good? I
don't think he's been that good, but I think he offers more of what Rangnick wants, which is on the ball, pressing and attacking.
Surely Wan-Bissaka starts against Atletico.
Who have they got on that side? Carrasco. Who's he one-on-one against? Is it Yannick Carrasco? I don't know.
Whoever it is, I'd be worried, man.
Yeah, maybe away you start Wan-Bissaka, yeah. Away in Madrid you start Wan-Bissaka, but for this one I think you start Dalot. And again, I've gone Telles just because he's back from playing with Brazil, back from COVID now. And again, I just don't think Shaw's done anything this season. He overlapped a couple of times in that Brighton game, but other than that, he
pisses me off as well, man.
It's just
just do something, bro. Like, what is wrong with you, man? There's times where he's standing there and he don't even run.
No.
If you run, someone like you can make again. I don't think Harry Maguire's great, but then he looks at Luke Shaw sometimes, and Luke Shaw don't move. Bro.
No,
it's like move.
And the amount of times
same with McTominay, move.
They're crossing the ball in. And Luke Shaw is 5-10 yards away from their winger. And you think...
You know what I hate seeing, bro? I want everyone to look at this. Watch when we have the ball with the goalkeeper, yeah. Maguire and Lindelof will go to the edge of the 6-yard box, yeah? And they are supposed to, in body language and movement and everything, ask for the ball.
Yeah.
That's why they are going to that position, because David De Gea now needs to give a short pass to them, yeah?
Yeah.
What happens is they go into those positions, but their body language is clearly screaming, please, Dave, don't give it his ball. And then ahead of them, you've got usually the opposition striker and two of their midfielders, or one of their midfielders. And then you've got McTominay basically walking in the shadow of the opposition midfielder or attacker, never asking for the ball. So then what happens?
He boots out to the
David De Gea either goes to the fullbacks with a kick, which goes for a throw.
Yeah.
Or to the wingers, which either you're then playing a percentage pass, 50-50, it's in the air. Anthony Elanga is probably not going to win that, bro. So now it's a 30-70 in the opposition team's favour. We lose the ball. This happens every week.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Like, stop it.
Well, that's...
oh, my God.
Going through the rest of the team, then that's why I've put Pogba in there. He does more than Fred and McTominay in terms of showing for the ball, especially in those deep areas. Sometimes he gives the ball away. Sometimes he takes too long on it. Sometimes he wants to muscle his man out of the way twice before he passes it. But he shows for the ball and he's available in that midfield. And I think that midfield three has been by far our most creative this season. We actually made tons of chances in every single game those three have played together. So I think that works, even though there's some defensive issues there. And then I have gone with Rashford just because I think output-wise, he is better than Elanga. I know Elanga does more of the off-the-ball stuff, but Rashford, I think all of his goals have come as a sub, but he still is getting on the score sheet occasionally. I think Elanga's only got one goal this season. Sancho, again, has to play, probably our best player over the last month, and then Ronaldo.
So
we have no other strikers, so Ronaldo has to play. Let's talk about Sancho quickly before we move on.
He's so good. He sent about 3 men to the shop the other day, didn't he?
Yeah.
He made one geezer a kipper. The guy is so good,
yeah,
and we're not focused on it because we're so crap at the moment. Yeah. But he is the shining light. Oh my God, his dribbling ability is getting there. He's got a good relationship with Ronaldo as well.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's developing
on the
really
ball.
Well.
He's got that like almost like freakish kind of silky first quick touch. Like he's so good.
He's not really quick either,
no.
Is he? It's like deceptively.
It's because he's so smooth. It's so smooth. His timing and his smoothness is there. He looks faster than he is. Yeah, he's been brilliant. Let's move on to the opposition then. And for this, we've actually got Jay, who's having a chat with former Leeds player Alan Thompson. Let's get into that.
Just wanted to ask you about the Leeds game. You were obviously at Leeds a few years ago, and you've seen the ups and downs of that club firsthand. And I just wanted to get your take on what you made of Bielsa's tenure and how he's got on there.
Well, I think he's absolutely loved there, and for what he's done, and where the club's been, 10 years, 12 years ago when I was there, 14 years ago even maybe now. The club's come back a long, long way. They've got a world-class manager who's done some wonderful things in world football, international level, club level. I think Leeds have been very lucky to have him as part of their history, and I think he's done a great job. Some fantastic players, love the way they play, love the energy they play with. They make it difficult. I know my club Newcastle went there and won the other week. Took 3 points there at Elland Road, which was a huge 3 points for Newcastle. I think they needed the 3 points more than Leeds did. But Leeds are still floating around there as well, so it'll be a big game when they come to play United.
And obviously, you were there a little while ago in different divisions to United, but were you aware of that rivalry between Manchester United and Leeds? Because it is a fierce one, even when we're not in the same division.
Yeah, I was always aware of it. My old man was a Leeds fan, so I always got to hear about the Don Revie team of the 70s and stuff like that, all the great players they had. And I'd done a gig with I forget his name now, an ex-Leeds player who was at United as a kid, and I didn't realise his name that he'd been at United, and but he really made his name at Leeds. So I knew about that rivalry, but it's not until you go there and you actually... When I was at Leeds, it was more Chelsea rivalry.
Right, okay.
The connection with Ken Bates was the chairman, Dennis Wise, Gus Poyet were the manager and assistant manager. So it was, when I was there, it was more about... Because that was League One Championship. United were obviously up in the Premiership then, so it wasn't a game that I played in or witnessed. But you did know about the rivalry between Leeds and United, yeah. But as I said, it was more Chelsea when I was there, the hatred.
Fair enough. Just looking at sort of United, what have you made of Ralph Rangnick coming in and what the job he's done so far? Because it's been a bit of a strange time for United. Obviously, all he's gone. A new manager's come in. A manager that was a bit of a left field appointment to a lot of people. What have you made of what he's doing?
I don't think anyone expected it. I live in the area, so I know a lot of United fans. So I went to the game, I think, was it the 29th or 30th of December, in between Christmas and New Year against Burnley.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously he hadn't been long in the door then, Ralph Rangnick, so he hadn't really had a lot of time to put his stamp on the team. But it was when they were talking about the 4-2-2-2 and all that kind of stuff. But I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, that's not a 4-2-2-2, it was a 4-4-2. And then I seen his interview a few weeks later and he said, no, the Burnley game, they did go to a more narrow 4-4-2 type of thing. So he's not been there long. Will he get the chance to bring people in the window and stuff like that? So, but he's obviously got a great pedigree. you hear the people like Klopp and Tuchel speak very highly of him. So he's got pedigree, and whether he's going to stay at United in the capacity as the manager or the head coach for the next year or two, who knows? We'll have to wait and see what happens in the summer. Or does he go upstairs and then they bring in a new coach? So it's watch this space, I think, yeah.
If you were Ralph Rangnick and you were facing Leeds, who's the player that you'd be most wary of? Because Leeds have got some exciting players, some quality. Who's the one that you think could make a difference for him?
I'm not sure. They've got a couple of injuries, haven't they? I think if I watched them against Newcastle on last few weeks ago, and they created so many chances from all different parts of the pitch, from wide through, going through the middle. And I think if Bamford plays, if he's fit and they're creating that many chances, you've got to watch him. He's a striker. He scores all different types of goals. So if he's fit for the United game and he's in the team, then he'd be the one for me that if they're creating chances and because they've got pace in wide areas, if they're getting wide and putting balls in the box, he'll score goals. So you'll have to, I don't know who'll be playing centre off for United that day, with Harry Maguire or Bailly or whatever. So they'll have to be tight and watch the shoulders because he's a clever player.
He is. He sort of surprised a few people, didn't he, Bamford? Because he sort of later on, I wouldn't say later on, but in his sort of mid-20s, he kicked on a bit.
Yeah, he's been around. He's played in the Championship. I know I watched him a little bit when he was at Middlesbrough, and he's always just been there or thereabouts. And now he's broke into Gareth England's squad. He's playing in a good, young Leeds team with energy and stuff like that. And when you're a striker like that, if you're getting chances, you're going to score goals at any level.
Definitely.
Right, thank you for that, Jay and Alan, for coming on the channel. Adam, before we go, get your score prediction to me, into my ears this second. Also, get yours in the comments below as well. Get your score predictions in. Go on, what are you thinking? Talk me through it.
Get yours in Joe's box. What?
Put your predictions right into my hole. Ears wise. Go on, what are you saying?
I was just Googling Alan Thompson.
How dare you? He almost signed for Man United. You wouldn't like to Google him then, would you? Sorry, Alan. Sorry, Alan.
I was joking. It was a bit of Leeds United. Not Leeds United. Leeds versus
Yeah, we
United.
get it, mate.
Banter.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Score prediction for...
Oh, God. This could be... We could get battered or we could give a battering.
Yeah, there you go.
We're like Amir Khan this weekend, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. Someone's getting knocked out and I don't know who it is.
Amir Khan to win, and Manchester United to win 3-1.
Nice. And which round
Or
will
Pogba's
Amir
gonna
Khan
score
win
2.
in, or is it going to be points?
Amir Khan on points.
Lovely. What do you say? 3-1, Paul Pogba with 2 goals?
Yeah, Pogba likes a performance at Leeds, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Paul Pogba made his debut against Leeds in a 4-0 win at Elland Road
2011, was it?
in the Carabao Capital Cup.
There we go. Yeah, so I'm going to go with a 2-0. I think another clean sheet. We need it. I think it looks likely as well. I think Leeds, they're a good team, but they're not having such a good season and they haven't really got any goal scorers. So 2-0 Manchester United.
You know when things went wrong for us?
When
Pogba stopped dabbing. So I think you need to dab.
The Pog dab. Bring it back.
Can you do it? Can you do one?
Not really just right now, no. But I'll practice it and we'll do it if he scores on
We
Sunday.
ain't going to win a trophy this season then.
Go on, you do it then. You do it and I'll do it.
No, I can't do it. Yeah, I asked you to do it.
I'll do it if we score. If Pogba scores on Sunday, I'll dab on the watch along. Make sure you check out the watch along. Thank you very much to Adam for coming on. If you haven't already, make sure you go check out Profit Accumulators. Link is in the description. Thank you. Thanks for chatting.
I'll thank you,
Go on, then,
bro.
thank me then.
I'll thank you.
Thank me then.
Thank you for coming on to my channel.
I felt really lovely. Thank you very much. Subscribe if you aren't already. Get your score predictions and your team predictions in the comments. And thank you to Alan Thompson as well. Adam's favourite player. We'll see you in a bit.